Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are previewing the Chelsea versus Arsenal game. Arsenal will be travelling to Stamford Bridge tomorrow to take on Chelsea, who are on a little bit of a resurgence, but Arsenal certainly flying high themselves. I believe they're currently second in the Premier League table. We will get to looking at that stuff, but I want to start this one off right at the beginning by giving you my predicted lineup. I say predicted, it's more of what I would want to see, because we all know Poch is going to try and tinker with things here and there. But this is what I would want to see. So let's switch over to this and I'll walk you through it. So starting in goal, obviously we have Robert Sanchez. There's no other goalkeeper that I'd really trust that's at the club at the moment. In the back line, you got Malo Gusto coming back from his suspension. I do think, he's a brilliant right back from what we've seen of him. I'm sure there's much more to come, and that does free up then Cucurella to be more natural on his left-hand side, which is where I'm going to be putting him at the other fullback position. Ben Chilwell looks like he's going to be out for a little while. There is Ian Maatsen to think of, but I think with Cucurella and how good his form has been as of recent, I wouldn't want to mess with it too much. So I'm going to say Cucurella at the left-back position. Next to him, you have Levi Colwill, and then Thiago Silva. There is a bit of a case for me if you did want to drop Thiago Silva for Disassi, I'm not opposed to that. So that one is a little bit interchangeable, but Levi Colwill definitely gets in the starting 11 for me. Then the midfield three of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Conor Gallagher. There is a little bit of me that would want to have Caicedo and Leslie Ugochukwu, because that gives you so much defensive solidity, and then obviously it frees up Enzo ahead of them to go and do what he does best. But Conor Gallagher has been in brilliant form for us as of recent, and he'll probably be the captain on this pitch, given that no one else really tends to get it over him these days. So that is the midfield, and then up front I've got Nicholas Jackson going in over Broja, and then Raheem Sterling on the left and Cole Palmer on the right. We know Cole Palmer, he looks like he is a bit of a key, in this team where he can unlock defenses. He seems to see things that other people don't. He manages to get that pass through that other people don't. Sterling, even though he's sort of hot and cold with his form, it feels like he has a few games where he looks pretty bad, and then there's a game where he just turns it on and he's electric. Hopefully this can be one of those games. So I'm going to give Sterling the start on the left, and then Nicholas Jackson starting over Broja. We know that they're both sort of in contention for it now because they're both back and fit, but I do think Nicholas Jackson's been in this team. He understands the teammates a lot more than Broja does for now. So I'm going to be giving him the starting position here. We know that he's capable of getting a couple goals. He's getting off the mark. So if he could start to get them in the big games as well, I think that would do his confidence the world of good. So that is my predicted, or the lineup I would like to see. I'm also not too opposed if it was, Colwill at left back, and then you have Thiago Silva, Disassi, or Badiashile, whoever the other centre back would be, and you shifted things around that way. So then I know you got a little bit more height in that back line, because at the moment Malo Gusto isn't exactly tall, Cucurella is very much not tall, Caicedo is not very tall. This is a very small side, so that's the only thing that really concerns me a little bit. But then let's switch over to the SofaScore website, and we are going to be taking a look at the injury list for one. This is one thing I wanted to point out. Look at how much better off their team is. Bukayo Saka, I'm pretty sure, is going to be fit for this game. I've heard the same for Saliba, but Jesus, look at that list for us. There's, even doubts over some of the players I was mentioning. Broja has had a little bit of a knock. Disassi, Jackson, Cole Palmer, this is just crazy stuff, the injuries that we're seeing. But this is what's in store for us, the team that are flying high in second position, tied top of the Premier League. We are coming off a couple good wins, so you do think maybe we can use this as a springboard. We beat Brighton here, went and beat Fulham, beat Burnley. These are teams that we should be beating. Brighton may be the exception because they are so good this season. You can see in the Premier League they're doing very well. They're up in 6th position. But Arsenal also on some pretty good form. We know that they've been doing good. They only have struggled a little bit in the Champions League against Lens. Went and beat Manchester City most recently, however. So that is a huge boost for them. But they do have to think about, there's a little short break. We're playing them on the 21st. On the 24th, they go to Sevilla to play in the Champions League. And they need to start picking up points. They have dropped some against Lens, so they'll be needing to pick up points there. So whether there's any rotation or, the whole thing about Saka being back ready and fit, Is he back ready and fit and capable of playing 2 games in the span of like 3 days? I wouldn't think so. So maybe he gets rested for this game and plays against Sevilla, or I think it's more likely he gets played in the Premier League, maybe gets taken off early and then plays against Sevilla. But we're obviously more focused on what Chelsea are doing, and I really do think that, you know, this is what SofaScore put as the predicted 11. It's very similar to what I have, and I think it's, you know, it makes sense for us realistically. It's probably our best 11 at the moment until we get some of these injuries, you know, off the charts and we're actually looking like a team once again. But that's my take on it. I'm going to go for a predicted score on this one, and we're coming off some good form. So I think defensively we've been good. Scoring goals we've actually started to get quite a bit better at. So I'm going to say this one could be a spicy 2-1 to Chelsea, because I think Arsenal do score. You know, they've got a good team. However, I think, you know, us getting a couple of goals, maybe one from Sterling, one from Cole Palmer, something like that, our wingers cropping up with a couple of goals. And I think 2-1 is what I'm predicting for this game. Hopefully I'm right. If it's, you know, a loss for us, then it will be a bit of a knock in the confidence, because it does sort of show that there's, you know, the team's up here and then there's us a little bit below at the moment. But all the things are pointing good for us at the moment. The stats are looking good behind the scenes. I know a lot of people hate stats, but the stats behind the scenes do look good for Chelsea at the moment. It is just a case of us getting some of our key players back so that we can start finishing these chances and all of that. So let me know what you guys think this game is going to be like. It's obviously going to be our hardest test so far this season, and hopefully Chelsea come out of this with a win. Guys, if you did enjoy that one, please be sure to leave a like on this video, hit subscribe, and you'll never miss any of my future videos. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.